There's a lot of people I feel like, Jeremy, like me, that I like hockey, but I don't really get into it until the playoffs. This is kind of when I engage. Does that bother you, or do you think that that's cool?
I certainly don't think you're the only one. There's no question, and I agree with you. Hockey playoffs, there's nothing like it. The speed, the intensity, the drama, the grace. I truly believe that there's no sport that has playoffs like hockey. And it's almost like watching the last. Don't watch a basketball game until the last minute when everything happens. But it's going to be even better this year. I think the matchups that the league has, I think as good as the teams are, some new teams in the playoffs this year. Florida Panthers in the playoffs this year, missed last year. San Jose missed last year. LA missed last year. So these teams are hungry. It's going to be awesome to watch.
Yeah, we need I'm sure somebody has an app or something, but I feel like, Jeremy, I need someone to buzz my phone when a game goes into overtime, because extra periods, because that, even if I don't care at all about those two teams or care who wins even a little bit, you cannot turn it off when it goes to that sudden death period.
No, without question. And if you look at some of these matchups and how they played against each other during the year, we could break a record for overtime. So that's just how close and the parity in the league right now. And I agree. It's 5-on-5 now. Will be the playoff time goes back to 5-on-5 overtime, and it's just a beat down slug out event. There's nothing like it.
Talking with Jeremy Roenick, NHL on NBC. NBCSN's coverage begins at 6 Eastern as the Red Wings take on the Lightning, and then continues at 9:30 Eastern as the Blackhawks face off against the Blues. Jeremy, you mentioned that it's a lot faster, and I know the NFL playoffs are more intense. I don't know if the action's faster, but they're definitely more intense. I think part of that is maybe guys are playing for keeps even a little bit more, and the teams are just better. Why does it feel on TV, or at least look like on TV, that the guys in the hockey playoffs and the NHL playoffs are moving so much faster on the ice? Because I know you guys are still moving fast during the regular season. So why does it visually look like it's a different level?
Well, there's only so much you can do in football. They're 6-second plays, 5-6-second plays, and no matter how fast you run, no matter how hard you hit, they're still stopping and resetting and making a new down, and all the tangibles that go along with football. Hockey is a different story. It is, without question, you can see the pace that's increased, and it's a constant pace. And I think a lot of us, especially me, we're enamored and in awe of the pace that they can skate in and the energy that they can exude for such long periods of time. And then you see how much faster the puck is, and how much sharper the guys are, and how much better the passing is, and the decision making. Because in the playoffs, people are prepared more. They think about it more. They are more in tune with of being ready when the puck comes to them, because it is the playoffs. It's time to shine. When the regular season, when you have 82 games, it's very easy for people and guys to have letdowns and show up one night, not show up another. But you can't do that in the playoffs. It's high pace all the time.
I don't have any research to back this up, JR, but my sense is that of the four major pro sports, that seeding, whether you're the 1 or the 8 or the 3 or the 6, means the least in the NHL playoffs. I know we've seen, it always seems like there's really low seeds that upset some of the favorites. Do you think I'm right there? I don't have any research, no stats, but it feels that way to me. Would you agree that seeding means the least in the NHL playoffs?
I think so, especially now. With the cap era that we're in, and with the talent level that the National Hockey League has right now, any team can beat any other team any given night, and it's without question there can be upsets very easily. And you see like in the basketball March Madness, there's always upsets. There's always some sort of a higher seed beating a lower seed. Just a couple of years back, the LA Kings. They get into the playoffs in the last game of the season and end up rolling through the playoffs and winning the Stanley Cup as an 8 seed. It can happen, and it can happen very easily. If you look at the Philadelphia Flyers this year, they've played Washington pretty well, and they're a team that's rolling on all cylinders right now that made the playoffs through a very gutsy team effort. The Washington Capitals kind of limped into the playoffs. They've had everything wrapped up for a month. They've had nothing to play for. It's hard to turn that on. So, you never know. Philadelphia Flyers could step up and really surprise the Washington Capitals because of the pressure that the Capitals are under. It's going to be a lot of fun to watch.
Now we're talking. That's my squad. Do you think we actually have a chance? Flyers. Now that they're back in the playoffs, JR, and now I can say we. Kind of like Villanova basketball. Anything from Philly, once they're good, it's we again. Do we have a chance?
Hey, Ross, of course we do. And with Mr. Schneider, the owner, passing away, they have a little bit more to play for. The rallying cry, so to speak. But this is a gutsy team. This is a team that has a lot of heart, and they've played some really good hockey as a team, and in-your-face hockey that's hard to play against coming down the stretch. Obviously, there are long shots, but they do possess a chance to win.
Talking with Jeremy Roenick, NHL on NBC. He also has the Roenick Life podcast with JR and Billy Jaffe. New episodes drop every Tuesday morning. Tyler Sagan from the Dallas Stars joined the podcast this week. Check that podcast out, iTunes, Stitcher, basically anywhere where podcasts are found. If you know how to get a podcast, you know how to get Roenick Life. Dude, how much of that podcast, by the way, JR, is about your life off the ice? I think that's the part that I want to hear. How much of that is you talking hockey, and how much of that is you telling stories from back in the day?
There is a lot of stories, without question. We tell a lot of stories with our guests. I think our the people want to hear about our guests. For me, it's forever. It's a work in progress, and it's me telling stories. It's me giving my really sometimes my outlandish opinions, my unedited opinions, and I think that's what people want to hear. But yeah, definitely great storytelling. Some of these guys have such great personalities. Their stories are funny. They're shocking, and sometimes just just a lot of fun to listen to.
So let's get to the nitty gritty of the Stanley Cup playoffs. Is it going to be either the Kings or the Blackhawks again? I mean, it's one of those teams every year. Is it going to be one of those teams winning it all again this year?
You would have to think so. You would have to think the way that the Kings are built. That's a good chance. However, the Kings have a very tough first round matchup against San Jose, who beat them in their season series during the year. San Jose won 3 out of the 5 games. The team that everybody thought was going to be great and wasn't, and then what was the Anaheim Ducks. And I think the Ducks are the team out west that everybody has to fear right now.
Last question, JR. We talk about Kobe Bryant today. He's playing his last game tonight. 20 years with the same NBA team. I can kind of see a basketball player playing that long. Cal Ripken, Derek Jeter, guys like that, 20 years in baseball. But there's a surprising amount of guys that play 20 years in the NHL. With as physical as it is, as many games as it is, you guys flying around the way you do, how is that possible? I've always wondered.
It's a miracle, without question. You have to be graced and blessed with a very durable body. You have to have the passion for the game. You look at guys like Jaromir Jagr and what he's doing at 44 years old. I mean, 27 goals, 6 points. He still led the Florida Panthers in points. Now, this is not just a Florida Panther team that has schmucks. This Florida Panther team won their came in second in their division, won their division, and has a tremendous amount of youth and talent, and the Army Jagers still won the scoring lead on his team. That is just absolutely incredible to me, and it shows how passionate they are, how much dedication there is to taking care of themselves, and it's really fun to watch. Now, I couldn't do it anymore, but some of these guys that make sure every single day they're taking care of themselves, they're the ones that are showing, beating the sport.
Well, make sure you take care of yourself over the next couple months, man. I know you got a grueling schedule on NBCSN ahead. Looking forward to watching you.
Yeah, thanks, Ross. I appreciate it. Actually, I'm just taking a quick nap, getting ready to go work out, and then right to the studio to get ready to rock and roll. It's going to be an awesome playoff series. I hope everybody enjoys it.
Absolutely. It is go time in the NHL.
The Dan Patrick Show, weekday mornings on Audience.